Biblically Centered Kids.
Well, hello! Happy Friday, February 23rd, 2024. This is the Biblically Centered Kids Podcast. My name is Miss Danika, and I'm excited to be with you today. Thank you so much for listening. Today's national holiday is National Banana Bread Day. Yum.
Yummy.
How many of you love banana bread? Have you ever had it or made it yourself? My mom has a delicious banana bread recipe that I now make for my family. I also love making banana muffins and banana pancakes. Do you like banana flavored things? What's your favorite thing to eat that has bananas in it? Is it bread or muffins, pancakes, smoothies, something else? Shout it out! Well, if you have bananas lying around your house this weekend, maybe you could find an opportunity to use them for a recipe. I'm sure a grown-up would love to find a recipe to make with you using bananas. Today, again, is February 23rd, and we have a very special birthday today. Miss June Shriver. She is turning 8 today, and her family wanted to wish her a very happy birthday. June, we hope you have the best day and continue to show God's love through your actions. And that's from your mom and dad and brother Stoney. So exciting. Hope you have a great day, June. For today, we have a fun activity to help us remember what we've learned this week. That's right, it's quiz day! You can either answer aloud with me or grab a pen and paper to write down your answers. Let's get to it. What is virtue H that we've been talking about all week long? Is it A, having a mission, skyrocketing and accomplishing your dream? Or B, humbly admitting our mistakes, submitting to correction, and accepting discipline? C, being haughty in your remarks and rejecting what people tell you? A, having a mission, skyrocketing and accomplishing your dream. B, humbly admitting our mistakes, submitting to correction, and accepting discipline. Or C, being haughty in your remarks and rejecting what people tell you. Of course, I knew you would get this one right. Of course, it's B, the answer about humility, correction, and discipline. All right. Now, do you remember what the virtue humility means? Is it A, thinking you always know what's best? B, thinking more of yourself? Or C, thinking of yourself less and being open to learn? A, thinking you always know what's best? B, thinking more of yourself? Or C, thinking of yourself less and being open to learn? Yes, it's letter C. Humility is admitting that we didn't know what was right and that we're ready to learn. I'm still practicing this as a grown-up. There are always people I can learn from. What does discipline mean? A, how we're taught to make better choices. B, being in trouble. Or C, getting caught doing something wrong. What does discipline mean? A, how we're taught to make better choices. B, being in trouble. Or C, getting caught doing something wrong. That's right. It's A. Discipline helps us make better choices the next time we face the same situation. It's how we learn from our mistakes. Can you think of a story from the Old Testament that exemplifies this week's virtue? If you remember, Tuesday's episode had a big fish in it. Do you remember who ended up in the belly of that big fish? That's right, it was Jonah. He tried running away from God and was not humble or submitted to God's way, and he wound up spending 3 days in a fish. Yuck, can you imagine? Do you remember how God disciplined Jonah and then helped him humble himself? A. God had him build a tent and then tear it down. B. Jonah found a palm tree to rest under. Or C. God made a plant grow and then sent a worm to eat it. A. God had him build a tent and then tear it down. B. Jonah found a palm tree to rest under. Or C. God made a plant grow and then sent a worm to eat it. You're right. God made a plant to shade Jonah and then sent a worm to eat it, so it died. Just like Jonah really appreciated and liked that plant, God told him that's how God felt about the people of Nineveh. God loved them and cared about them and wanted to save them from their sins. All right, do you remember our New Testament story from this week? We learned about one of Jesus' disciples who was very proud of himself and yet ended up denying he knew Jesus 3 times. Yes, we learned about Simon Peter. He was so sure of himself, and then he did exactly what Jesus told him he would do. Do you remember how Simon Peter's story ended? What happened after Jesus returned from the dead? That's right. Simon Peter was back to fishing, and Jesus showed up on the beach. He asked Simon Peter a pretty important question. Do you remember what question Jesus asked Simon Peter 3 times? That's right. Jesus asked, "Do you love me?" Wow. I am so thankful for this New Testament story that shows us God's character through his son, Jesus. Jesus knew Peter had made a mistake, but he showed him love and forgiveness, all while disciplining him. I know that I want to do big things for God, and I can only do that when I learn humility and trust God. Well, you guys answer those questions so great. It's so good to hear how much you're learning each week about our virtues and our Bible stories. I think that's a good place to wrap up, and I loved getting to spend time with you today. I hope you enjoyed reviewing what we learned this week about humility and discipline. Have your parents visit biblicallycentered.com to get some resources for your biblical family virtue journey. And if you enjoyed listening to Biblically Centered Kids, be sure to tell all your friends so they can work on biblical virtue with you. Remember, we want to cultivate humility so we can rely on God and not ourselves. And we accept discipline so we can make better choices next time. Keep practicing this weekend. Until next time.